So Glenn Wahl blocked the group that I was posting these videos under. Anybody surprised? Coward's gonna cower. Before he blocked me, Glenn Wahl responded to the video in a single comment. You can see it here on your screen. He made a reference to the theory that the oceans have eaten global warming. It's actually, there's this site called the Hockey Stick. It's a blog that keeps track of various explanations for the 18-year statistically significant pause in global warming that, as I showed in the previous video, 102 prominent science climate models failed to predict. And so, of course, they're using 2020 powers of hindsight to go back and try and explain how they failed to predict this. One of the leading explanations is that the oceans have absorbed the warming. And the Hockey Stick blog actually links, I'll link to it down in the description, it links to 3 different refutations of this theory. But you know what, for the sake of this video, we're just going to assume that it's scientifically sound. Let's just assume that in fact the science is correct and that the greenhouse effect has been strongly mitigated to the point of basically eliminating all warming for almost 20 years now as a result of the effects of the ocean. Well, for those of you who are not aware of this, the nations that use the highest rates of fossil fuels also have the longest average lifespans, lowest infant mortality rates, highest rates of access to clean water and food, and highest GDPs. It's kind of surprising for something that supposedly turns everything into this toxic wasteland that the people who use the most fossil fuels are the ones on the planet doing the best. But here's one of the most striking statistics I've ever heard about this whole debate is that the number of climate-related deaths has plunged 98% since 1930. In 1930, 5 million people died from climate-related deaths. That's droughts, that's floods, that's hurricanes. As of the latest year available, in which data is available, only 20,000 people died. That's fewer people than died in traffic accidents globally. Should we ban automobiles? Yet, based on these climate models that don't actually predict climate, they want to criminalize fossil fuel use to one degree or another. Some of the most prominent scientists like Bill McKibbins have quoted anywhere from 80 to 95% criminalization of fossil fuel use. And that, of course, as you can see, with all these positive outcomes that stem from fossil fuel use, it stands to reason that the result would be misery and death for millions of billions of people. Before we enact policies that have that potential consequence, as unintended as it may be, shouldn't we base those policies on sound proven science rather than something so speculative as climate science? The really funny thing is, in a comment Wahl left yesterday that you can see there, he actually admits that climate is such a complex system that it's unrealistic to expect that climate scientists could accurately predict it. But nonetheless, he insists that we should continue to eliminate fossil fuel use. Why? Because global warming. Because the greenhouse effect is such a real thing, we need to eliminate fossil fuel use. Why? Traffic accidents are killing more people than climate. So why should we panic? Why should we be concerned? Well, Glenn Wahl, as you can see, could care less what the science says or what the data is actually showing us. The fact of the matter is he has a prejudice against oil and gas. And this is true of all fractivists that I've encountered. They could care less what the science says. What their movement is based on is fear, prejudice, and ignorance. And science is just a veneer they use to disguise all that. I'll see you guys next video.